What's up, Hobby Maniacs? Rob Bear here today with a look at the new White Dwarf. This is issue 91, dated 24th October 2015, and of course, it's all about the Tau. Now, we know that the rest of the suits are coming out next week, as well as the Codex itself, along with the campaign book, the Kauyon campaign book, which looks to have a ton of new rules about the Tau and the Raven Guard that are fighting the Damocles campaign right now, the whole engagement, the third sphere expansion of the Tau Empire to try to get, some more territory and things like that. But before we get into it, I wanted to remind you to make sure you stay in the trenches, subscribe to this YouTube channel, check out the blog, spikybitsblog.com, and head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content and early access videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today. So like I was saying, this is the whole big last hurrah for the Tau, and we know that there is going to be something big unveiled on Halloween for the upcoming week's pre-orders. Everybody assumes it's going to be Horus Heresy, but they tricked us once this year with it, so I'm not 100% sold on it quite yet, but we'll see what happens in just 1 week's time from today, assuming, of course, that the White Dwarf for next week doesn't leak this day, next day, who knows. So it's really hard to say anymore. Stuff's just coming out super early in spurts all over the globe, so it's really interesting. It's definitely keeps us on our toes here at Spiky Bits, and of course Bowls as well. So here's a good look at the new upcoming Tidewall fortification, which, remember, if you didn't get the whole fortification itself, it will be coming out separately in different pieces. There is supposedly a rumored reprint of the Tidewall formation box that sold out, that's going to come out some point between now and Christmas time. We're not exactly sure, but that's the word on the street from Games Workshop. That's what they're telling their retailers, at least. So here's a good look at the new Commander suit. Now, you get two of these guys for $50, and it also comes with some drones and stuff. And I think, I don't know. I feel like $25 a suit is pretty reasonable for a multi-part kit that's on a 60mm base, and it is very dynamic. I mean, it looks like it comes with an open palm, different hand options here. You got all sorts of posability. I mean, look, you got joints that are turning and different things, and the shoulders, and it's just got this really dynamic look to it. It looks like you can kind of pose it in a lot of different ways, so that's really exciting to see, I feel like. And you've got the two different variants apparently that you can make armor wise. This looks to be kind of showcasing that here. You've got this different top chest and this different chest piece right here, and you can tell that they are different based on the little things to the left and the right there. So it's really cool to see them coming out with all this stuff and all these options and things, because it's the commanders we've been blessed with in the past, while good for their time, were never as dynamic as this. And you can't get more dynamic than a multi-part plastic kit, I feel like, you know what I mean? And then it kind of goes into a little bit of a showcase about that, but the more important thing is the Kauyon box. And here's, well, let's not skip the new Crisis suits themselves. So Crisis suits haven't been redesigned since 2001, when the whole Omnius release of September 2001 was a bad year for everybody in the world, I feel like. But that is the month that the Tau came out, and it was a really exciting time if you're a hobbyist, at least. I feel like because these guys, that was the first new Tau army. We hadn't seen a new quote unquote Tau army since then, up until this year. With the Mechanicus. So it's been really exciting as far as the hobby goes. Now these guys obviously are the new kit, completely redone. The box set is $75, so they're about on par with the $25 of the Commander that the two kit is coming in. And maybe you can use the Commanders for all of your Crisis suits. I guess you'd have to put them on those 50mm bases. But it's obviously if you're into converting and things like that and want that more dynamic look, I feel like it's perfectly reasonable. Now these guys obviously have some shoulder joints and things here that we hadn't seen in the past. It looks like you can turn, you can basically swivel at the elbow as well as the wrist, and the shoulders bend and have different options there as well. Now I hear from people that have seen the kits, it comes with all of the options if you want to do the twin length kind of thing, or if you just want to take onesies of each. Apparently the missile pod is the delineating factor when it comes to this kit, and that's just from trolling the forums and checking everything out, what people have to say. Now some folks already have this stuff, which is really interesting altogether as well. So there's a closer look at some of the options, and of course the drones as well. It seemed like the drones are a separate release too on Games Workshop's site. So here's the new campaign book. Kauyon, which of course is, all about the Damocles Crusade, what's going on there. You got the Raven Guard, you got the White Scars, of course the Tau, all up in there, all up in the mix. So it looks to be that hardcover set that we're used to. Now there is, signs pointing to that the Tau Codex that's coming out is going to be soft cover. So that's really interesting to see. I feel like that they might be getting away from the hardcover treatment, except for the campaign books, and that would add value to the campaign books, along with providing those supplemental rules that we're all used to as well, I feel like. So, if they start moving forward and they start keeping the books the same and just start adding rules to them via the campaign books, I feel like that's a really good play on their part, because you get these things that are added value, everybody's going to want them, and then also, it basically gives you carte blanche down the road 2-3 years to reprint a second edition codex of that same content. So where you take all the old content and all the new content over the past couple of years, all the Splash campaign releases, and then you put it together and you make a second edition, air quotes kind of thing. So that's really interesting to see that it gives options. It gives us the weekly content, the weekly releases that we seem to crave, because everybody, let's be honest, we had a hard time over the summer with all that Age of Sigmar stuff. If you weren't into that and you were really, jonesing for some 40K, it was a scratchy summer for you, if you know what I mean. So, I feel like Games Workshop, a lot of people talk mess about them, but I feel like they have their pulse on what makes it, maybe not necessarily what we say we want, but what we respond to. And as a business, I feel like that's a good play on their part. You know what I mean? It's just, that's just business. You can't really knock it. Being a former businessman, I got nothing to say about it. Good on them. If they know it works and they stay in business and we have a great hobby, I'm all for it, you know what I mean? Here's some of the other releases. Like I said, they're coming out with the drones, some paint guides, Tau Empire data cards, along with White Scars and Raven Guard reprint, it looks like. And then it gets into some articles and things. There wasn't a whole lot of hobby stuff in here this go around. There wasn't a paint splatter or a sprues and glue, because honestly, they probably ran out of content already. They already showed us the white scheme. They already showed us the orange scheme there. So it's good to go, right? That's kind of how I feel. I like this little family picture here, which is really neat, where it shows, all the little baby suits going up to the big boy suit, and then I guess they could have the supremacy armor over there too, which would be pretty neat to see as well. So, lots of cool stuff in here. It is a good issue. Talks about some armies on parade and things, and then you get to the back, talks more about the Tide Wall. The Tide Wall rises, and it looks like, there's going to be some stuff in here for Age of Sigmar, which we're also hearing that it is going to be a Splash campaign release towards the end of November as well. So don't count out Age of Sigmar. We will see it again, but I don't think we're going to see it in the 3 to 4 month format that we saw over the summer. And then here's a rundown of the new releases up here in the right corner. You've got the Tau Empire Commander, that it looks like 2 miniatures for $50. Then the 9 miniatures, because they're counting the drones, of the Crisis Battle suits for $75. Then the 2-pack of drones themselves for US 12, so that kind of gives you an idea how they're pricing that out there. Then you got the new decal sheet, which looks really good. It's bigger than, it's a full-size page. It's not like the little sheet. Is it worth it? I don't know. I suppose if you want your stuff to look pretty dope, the Knights decal sheets really seemed worth it, so I don't see why those wouldn't be. Then you got the Warzone Damocles Kauyon box, which is, that hardcover kind of feature we were just talking about, for $74 US. Also another interesting pricing concept there. I feel like Codex Tau, standard $49.50. Now this is supposedly a bigger book, supposedly, and we don't have confirmation on this quite yet, that it will just have the new stuff from the Kauyon book in here, and the actual Tau Codex, if you have the 6th edition one, really all you need to buy is this anyways, and then that'll give you everything. So that's it. We talked about it in the past. I don't want to harp on it, but I really like what they're doing there. Then you got the Ghost Kill edition, the standard limited edition thing, which we didn't really show in here, but it is in here, and it's it's got the coins. Here it is. So it looks really good. The layout looks pretty cool. It's got, your standard Maelstrom objective cards and things like that. It comes in a nice little deck. Then you got your brass etched coins, metal etched coins, and some sort of chart here that looks like some sort of rules supplement. Probably goes over the war gear or something like that. And then, everything usually goes into all this extras, usually goes in one of these, and then that's probably the codex itself. It looks to be, just a stylized version of that one, and kind of the old Necron to Kauyon edition kind of separating case there. there. So that looks, I mean, it looks super saucy. And there's the new Order Noctis that will be coming out from Forge World as well. Back to this, you got the data cards, the new Tau Empire one, then you've got the Raven Guard and the White Scars reprint, the Army's Expansion paint guide, which looks to be going for $20, which honestly for a paint guide isn't that bad, to be quite honest. And then the Legends of the Dark Millennium Farsight book by Phil Kelly there. So pretty interesting stuff through and through. I feel like, you know, it is a very exciting time to be a 40K player, because like I said, Tau is looking really good and there's a lot going on with this release. So it's really cool to see just how exciting the new book. I guess we're really waiting on the Kauyon book, because the Tau, we kind of already know the Tau Codex book, you know what I mean? So just really exciting times all the way around, and there is something even bigger on the way.